When my parents passed away in an accident, they entrusted my uncle Andrew, who wasn't related to me by blood, to take care of me. But I developed feelings I shouldn't have. After a reckless night, I ended up pregnant. I have a fiancé. I took care of you because I promised your parents. You crawling into my bed. I can let that slide. But this child can't be kept. He dragged me to the hospital and forced me to have an abortion. When his fiancée beat me until I was covered in blood, not even that moved him as much as a single tear from her. At that moment, I finally broke down and walked away. Are you really sentencing me to this? Andrew, you're already tainted. I don't want you anymore. I have a fiancé. I took care of you because I promised your parents, but you shouldn't have crawled into my bed. So, the child you're carrying has to be aborted. We're going to the hospital right now. And besides, last time wasn't your first. Who knows which guy you've been messing around with? I don't want that trouble in my life. What are you saying? It wasn't my first. My first time was a few months ago, when he got drunk and forced himself on me. The next day, I didn't know how to face him, so I snuck away. And now, it became his excuse to not trust me. I had been excited, thinking this child would make him see me differently. Instead, I received this terrible news. Andrew, you have a fiancé? Then why? Why were you so kind to me? Why would you even do things like buy me tampons? And now, you tell me you have a fiancé. What did those 2 nights mean then? Lillian, get rid of those thoughts. I'm not interested in a woman who would climb into my bed. So, in his eyes, I was just like any other woman trying to get into his bed. Do I have to get rid of it? What if I said I wanted to keep it? I begged him one last time, but he didn't care. Don't make me force you. I understand. I held back my tears and followed him. In just over an hour, I had gone from joy to devastation. But the man in front of me remained as cold as ever, as if it hadn't been his child that was just taken away. I weakly leaned against the wall, taking slow steps forward. Andrew tried to help me, but I avoided his touch. Lillian, could you stop being so troublesome? I can't keep cleaning up after you all day. I forced a smile, holding back my tears. I'm sorry, Andrew. I understand. Ignoring the shocked look on Andrew's face, I returned to the villa, only to run into his fiancée. You must be Andrew's niece, right? I'm his fiancée. I'll be living here from now on. So, they were already living together. The pain in my heart hit me in waves. You'll stay at the downtown apartment for the next few days. Leah had a fight with her family, so she'll be staying here for now. It would be inconvenient for you to stay. I lowered my head. Okay, understood. Suddenly, I noticed a few trash bins near the couch, in the kitchen corner, and at the foot of the stairs. Quietly, I walked over to check, and the sight nearly made me faint. Lillian, are you okay? Leah walked over, holding my hand, noticing how I was staring at the familiar items in the trash. Leah playfully glared at Andrew. It's all Andrew's fault for being so reckless. Now everything's a mess, and Lillian had to see it. Andrew kissed Leah in front of me. You minx, it's your fault for being so irresistible. We're all adults here. There's nothing to be shy about. Holding back the pain, I stood up and quickly walked to my room. The moment the door shut behind me, I couldn't hold back my sobs anymore. After returning to the Scott Manor, I thought I would no longer have any interaction with Andrew. Unexpectedly, his fiancée invited me to join her for the company's anniversary celebration. Don't upset Leah. She doesn't have many friends right now, so she asked you to keep her company. Just make sure not to make her unhappy. I'll send a driver to pick you up tonight. I didn't even get a chance to refuse. I was just a transitional figure for his fiancée, stepping in because she had no friends. Leah looked beautiful, and standing next to her made me feel like a swan next to an ugly duckling. Any man would know how to choose. No wonder Andrew likes her. If I were a man, I would choose her too. Halfway through, I felt unwell and wanted to leave, but I couldn't find Andrew or Leah anywhere. I accidentally wandered into the back garden. Hearing voices, I quickly hid. From the sound, I realized it was Andrew and Leah. Just as I was about to step out and tell them I wanted to go home, I heard a man's heavy breathing and a woman's soft moans, which startled me into hiding. Andrew, does Lillian like you? Focus. How can she compare to you? When she's beneath me, I don't even react. You little enchantress. A single glance from you captivates me. Have you forgotten that night? Although I can't remember what you looked like that night, I know how out of control I felt with you. When Andrew finished speaking, he didn't notice Leah's guilty expression. For a whole hour, I covered my mouth. I was afraid to let myself cry. I didn't even feel the branches scratching my skin. The next morning, I was groggily pulled from my bed. Lillian, I looked for you all night with Leah, and here you are sleeping? When Andrew saw the injuries on my body, I thought he was concerned for me, and I instinctively tried to cover up. So you disappeared all night to fool around with another man, huh? Why do you lack self-respect? After all, you're the type who would crawl into your own uncle's bed. Sleeping with a few men isn't a big deal. It's a pity Leah even defended you, saying you're just playful. Andrew, is that how dirty I am in your eyes? Then why did you sleep with me in the first place? Andrew's words pierced my heart, making it hard to breathe, and he shifted his gaze away from me. Lillian, don't forget, that was you climbing into my bed while I was drunk. Otherwise, with someone like you, would I even have touched you? What about that first night? I asked instinctively. What? What first night? I shook my head, saying it didn't matter anymore. It was no longer important. Lillian, I promised my brother and sister-in-law to take care of you. They've done me a favor, but you shouldn't have such thoughts. I watched Andrew's back and felt like everything was coming to an end. When I returned to Hall Manor, I saw Leah acting like the lady of the house, ordering servants to throw her unwanted things outside. Lillian's back, but it's a pity Andrew isn't home. I didn't know what she meant by that, but I could feel the hostility in her tone. Miss Torres, I'm just here to get my own things. Shouldn't you call me Auntie? I know you like Andrew, but he doesn't like you. It's so degrading for you to cling to him like this. I stubbornly wiped my tears, feeling like a stripped clown in that moment. You've misunderstood. Humph, do you really think I don't know? You even drugged him to crawl into his bed, and then shamelessly threatened him with a child. It's a pity Andrew isn't falling for your tricks. How does it feel to be taken away for an abortion? Let this be a lesson for you. Stop dreaming about things that don't belong to you. I looked at Leah, who seemed different from usual, not understanding why she was treating me this way. Because last night, in the heat of the moment, he called out your name. How pathetic to seduce your own uncle.